Welcome back, and it's ironic that it's back because for many of you, and for Ian Fidance, it is the Prima Volta over here. Welcome to Sopranos Prima Volta. I am Sam Roberts. This is Ian Fidance. Ian's first time ever watching The Sopranos.
Yes.
And we're going through it, and we're analyzing it as I've watched the show many, many times. And we're at the point in this series where there is so much analysis and so much history that we've been going single episodes now. We're at episode 2 of season 4.
I mean, we're going through it, the show, but I'm going through it emotionally with everything that's going on and my feelings changing and my heart being betrayed. And I'm really going, something else I'm going through.
What's that?
My wallet, my bank account.
Why? What?
Because I got you another gift.
No!
Whitman's,
How
just
did
for
you know?
Yeah.
What a beautiful gift. I
Yeah.
mean, this is class.
Yeah.
This is class.
It's a sampler.
Oh,
It's not just
wow.
one thing, it's a bunch of things.
Coconut cream.
Coconut cream.
That's delicious. We'll put it right here. We'll
Put
put
it
it
right
right
there.
there in case we
Put it
get
right
hungry
there.
because we got a lot to discuss
Yes.
on today's Prima Volta show.
Why don't we sit down? I want to have a sit down. I want to have a talk.
Let's have a sit down. What did you call my house? Sam Triali's?
Sam Triali's. Let's go to Sam Triali's, have a couple wits, and get to the bottom of it because there's a lot to discuss.
Oh, we got a lot to discuss.
And I hope we do discuss it because something they do on the show that kind of bothers me is they say a lot without saying it, and I get confused.
Yeah, no, I can see where it gets pretty confusing.
It's not only Italian without words, it's words without words.
Yeah, it's television without words.
Yes.
Atypical.
Yes.
Atypical for television.
A lot of inference.
But I'll tell you, there were words that were uttered at the beginning of this episode.
Oh,
Those
Madame.
words, a big dinner.
a madame.
It was your guy. It was Ralphie being charming and funny Ralphie again. Charming, funny Ralphie. He says this. You hear about Ginny Sack?
No, what happened?
You're going to make me do the joke?
Yeah, you do it. What is it? I don't know.
It's so disrespectful.
Yeah, well, I'm not coming out of my mouth. I don't want problems with New York, but go ahead. Go ahead. Say your little joke. Do your little ha-ha. Let's see what you would say about that woman. What do you say?
Well, Ralph Soretto, not me.
Mm.
He said she had a 95-pound mole removed from her ass.
Madame. The big mole.
Got big laughs at the table. Big laughs at the table. I mean, Tony thought it was cute. Everybody, it was just the funniest joke.
Yeah, we call that in the biz a closer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Big laughs. Such big laughs, as a matter of fact, that little Paulie, remember a couple of episodes ago, you were asking
Who's little Paulie?
Little Paulie is.
Little Paulie.
He's there. Now you
Yep.
know. He was visiting Paulie Walnuts in jail in the pen, and he said, and then get this. He says she had a 95-pound mole removed from her ass.
Jokes are always best when repeated. It was definitely worth repeating.
Definitely worth repeating.
Yeah.
That's when you know, like, you would think you're in the mob. Like, you would think you would have a life that was a little bit more exciting. You're visiting your uncle in prison, and that joke is the highlight?
Yeah. Yeah.
But, I mean, talk about, Ian, correct me if I'm wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but when you try material,
Yeah.
certain material can kill in one room with one audience.
Yes.
You do the exact same material in another room with another audience,
Falls flat.
nothing.
Falls flat.
That's
And I will say, it's good to test out material in different rooms. And you get to a point in comedy where almost like you don't have to do open mics anymore. You're good enough to where you can do new stuff and it works. I don't do open mics anymore, but I like to take my act to different places. One of my favorites, in front of a bunch of old Italian mobsters. I love doing my act in front of them. And then it's like, will this work everywhere? And then I take it to lockup. And I tell it on a phone through a glass wall.
Well, that's what I say about comedy. If a joke is good, it will work in a lockup through a glass wall.
Yeah.
This one did not work. Because talk about the reaction you
Didn't
don't
really
want.
fly.
No, Paulie, just...
Paul, Mr.
Yeah,
he wasn't hen. No hen. No ha.
No, he was pissed.
Yeah.
He thought it was disrespectful.
To his new bosom buddy.
Well, that's the problem. Little Paulie didn't realize that Paulie Walnuts
Is a fucking brown-nosing motherfucker.
Yeah, all of a sudden he's best friends with Ginny Sack. Nobody realizes this.
I'd hate to be Paulie Walnut's cellmate at this prison because his room would smell like shit because he's got his nose so far up Johnny Sack's ass.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
You're 100% right, but I mean, that does... When you saw that, did you realize, oh, this is more than a joke?
I mean, yeah. It's... Paulie is angling. I don't know what Paulie's angling for. He is no longer loyal to Tony. That's out the window. Paulie is in survival mode. He's acting like a rat cornered in a cage.
It's like he has all this rage, and despite that, he's still just a rat
in a cage.
Oh, you saw that too?
I mean, I felt it, and you felt it.
I felt it, for sure.
That's wild.
Yeah. Because...
That's a connection.
Because I've always thought that, like loneliness is emptiness.
Mm-hmm.
Emptiness is cleanliness.
Mm-hmm.
Cleanliness is godliness.
Mm.
God is empty.
Is everywhere. What?
Just like me.
Whoa.
But I digress. So...
Wow.
Paulie's...
That is giving me so much, like, melancholy right now.
Well, for me, just infinite sadness.
Yeah.
Just infinite
really?
sadness. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
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 Billy Corrigan.
Look, we can't keep going with this. You know when we got to get this podcast done?
By 1979.
I was thinking tonight.
Ah! Damn it, I missed it. Oh, that was perfect. I am such a fucking zero.
Okay. Freak on a leash.
Orgy's cover of Blue Monday.
How does it... What are you talking about?
To us.
Like, no, we're not doing that, dude. No. So not only are seeds planted there...
It's gross.
But
What's happening?
Is it just me? Or did you notice Carmella...
Oh, dude.
was acting a little funny when she found out
Furio was coming.
Furio was coming over. Let me tell you something. Carmella is a sucker for a handsome Italian, isn't she?
Dude, she loves a classic Italian man.
She does not mind a schnozzola.
No. She'd rather have more schnoz than down there, I think.
You talking about D?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought so.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now, okay. What, when you're watching episode 2 for the first time?
Did Carmella get fingered at the Sistine Chapel? Why is she so attracted to these, like, paintings and classic Italian men? Like,
no, it's a good question. It's a good question. I'll tell you what. If I'm Tony, she's never going to Italy. Never. Every single person she saw, she'd be like, oh, look at it. Oh, Tony, I was just going to go out for a little while.
Oh, my God. She's getting herself all dolled up so that guy can, ring the doorbell with his nose standing across the block.
Fixing her bangs.
Yeah.
Because she's going to...
nerve.
Look, you're married to Tony Soprano.
The
boss.
Yes.
Who's the boss? It ain't Tony Danza.
No.
It's Tony Soprano.
It's Tony Soprano. And that ain't just a musical note. It's a person.
That's 100% right. That is 100% right. Fun fact, by the way, did you know Meadow,
Yes.
Jamie Lynn Sigler,
Yes.
when she auditioned to play Meadow Soprano, she thought it was a musical show.
I love that.
So she brought like pages so she could sing at
That
the
is
audition.
awesome.
Yeah, that's true.
Speaking of Meadow.
Let me tell you.
Woo!
Depression suits her just fine.
Oh, baby. Cry some more, mama.
Okay.
Golly.
Hey, how about this?
How about this?
Go ahead. Don't worry about it. Take your time. It'll be worth it. This is good stuff.
Remember that?
No, I don't know what you're doing.
People did that. Yeah. You remember that? The thing that you did in school? Oh, God. You saw an attractive girl?
Who would do that?
Hey, babe. Going my way. Remember that?
What does that mean? What gives you more pause? Paulie taking offense to the Ginny Sack joke, or Carmella dolling herself up for Furio. Like when you're looking, because we're only in episode 2 of season 4, we still don't have a strong foundation. Like the whole show has an arc, but so far every season has had an arc. You know, season 2, it kind of, the penultimate moment was with the mother, and then the big closer of the arc was Pussy. Season 3, the big arc over the season was Jackie.
Yeah.
Like, season 4, we don't exactly know where we're going just yet. We're only on episode 2.
I mean, I think season 4 is going to be Ada and Paulie.
I love that. But when you're looking at, what concerns you more? The Ginny Sack joke in jail, or Carmella dolling herself up for Furio?
Carmella's never going to leave Tony. Carmella likes to, be on a diet, but look at the menu.
Carmella does exactly what she accused the priest of doing. Remember when the priest stayed over her house in season 1? And she said, remember season 1?
I remember, but I'm trying to...
And Carmella, she said that he likes to kind of dance around sexuality, like never actually... Carmella doesn't mind doing that herself, does she?
You're wrong. Carmella wants a compliment. Carmella wants someone to go, hey, you look nice. Thank you. That's all she wants. She doesn't...
She tried to have sex with the wallpaper guy.
No, she didn't. She wasn't
wanted
gonna have
sex with him. She wanted
she
sex
didn't want
with
sex with him. She just wants to be appreciated. She wasn't going to have sex with him. She maybe would have kissed him.
On the dick.
But like an Italian way, where she go both sides of the penis.
That's right. That's the way the Italians do it. When you hear your family. So this is where I feel like a lot of tension is building on this show. Of course,
you have tears in your eyes.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
sad.
I am sad.
Yeah.
I am sad because Meadow is growing up right in front of our eyes, and like we saw.
Yeah.
Well, look. How much of what Meadow's going through is depression over what happened to Jackie, and how much of it is typical young person angst? Like, even if it is all excuses, Meadow is, 20. Like, this is what...
She is depressed, but also at the same time, she's using these big words and like acting like she's smarter than her parents, and, it's canon, oh, shut up. But, I mean, when she's wearing a bathing suit like that, I mean, she can, fucking... Speaking of cannons.
I get you. I guess,
Speaking of cannons.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. How about who's hateable? Who is more hateable than the therapist?
Oh, my God.
That Meadow goes to.
Did he molest you? Were you molested?
For some reason.
Why does she want to help her? What is her angle?
The therapist?
You don't see a therapist for the first time and they're like, I'll write you a letter of recommendation.
There are bad therapists.
Yeah, but you don't. I've seen a lot of them. None of them have tried to get me into college abroad.
You didn't look like Meadow in that orange bathing suit.
Oh, my God, Meadow.
No, I you know what? For some reason...
Spicy meatballs.
was like nails on a chalkboard to me.
She was terrible.
The therapist saying Jack.
Yeah.
Instead of Jackie Jr. Tell me more about Jack. Nobody called him Jack,
and
lady.
then she goes, you don't like talking about dad. I hate when people do that. When they don't go your dad, they go dad. Or you're talking about like someone, instead of me being like, oh yeah, I was at my mom's. I was like, yeah, I was at mom's the other day. And it's like, you're not in this.
Yeah. If you had said, I just got back from Delaware and I said, how was mom? You'd be like, I don't know how your mom was, Sam, because that's the only person you call that to.
Yeah.
I would call your mother Mrs. Fidance.
Yeah, Fidance.
Ms.
Fidance. Yeah, and I said, well, I had to go kill a cop. Don't tell anyone.
And she said this, Thank you for the closure.
Thank you for the closure.
Thank you for putting a bow on that.
Yeah, I put a $20 bill in her fridge and I left.
Yeah.
Where's the fluffing out of bitch?
In the Fidance house,
Everything
is just a nice 3-act play.
Yes.
Just put a bow on it at the end and everybody feels better.
It always ends in a bow.
Yeah. So the therapist tells Meadow that she can always do more school. She can go to Europe, this and that.
This stupid bitch. And she's like, I can help you out over there. Whose side are you on? You just let someone come in and give you the rigmarole and you co-sign all their bullshit?
Well, what about the idea, too, that, and you saw this when Carmella went to a therapist, that Melfi is kind of, on some level, in love with Tony.
Right.
The same way Tony's in love with her. So there's a different relationship there.
I kind of am holding out for them to end up together. But anyway, go ahead.
You love Carmella. How?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It would destroy Carmella. It would absolutely destroy Carmella.
No, but Carmella sees how happy they are together, and she goes, all right, you have them on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Sundays, and I got them on Mondays.
What if Carmella moves to Sicily with Furio or somebody like Furio?
Oh, my God. And it will be like Jason Momoa and Zoe Kravitz's mom and Lenny Kravitz. They all, Lisa Bonet and Jason Momoa, and Zoe Kravitz and Lenny Kravitz, they all got along and were like best friends.
And now they're broken up.
Ah, fuck.
You hear about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty sad.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Shit. Fuck.
So I think that it's possible, and we didn't get this necessarily from that therapist. She might just be a bad therapist who thinks everybody was molested, because I don't know where that came from.
Yeah.
Meadow's like,
Dr. Drew kind of does that.
He brings up molestation a lot.
Yeah, he's always kind of like, were you molested? And he brings up like emotional molestation with parents and everything. Like there's some therapists that are very heavy on like, this guy, he definitely was fucked by a parent.
Well, maybe that's their specialty, so they want you to fit into their specialty.
Or they're just a really, really dedicated pedophile.
That's just trying to normalize on
just
every level.
Years of schooling so that they could get, like child molesting fan fiction from their patients.
So yeah, but I think there is also this thing where therapists that aren't Dr. Melfi,
right?
And we see this with Melfi's therapist too. God rest his soul, rest in peace.
Yes.
Who Peter Bogdanovich?
Yes.
Who have a prejudice against
mafia people.
Right. So there may be this awareness that Meadow's therapist has for what Meadow's father does. And so Meadow's therapist legitimately thinks the best thing for this kid would be to escape that household. Yeah.
Ah, interesting.
Maybe.
I thought she was trying to suck up to Meadow to like get in with the mafia family.
Why? Why would she get in with what?
So that she could go to like mafia family parties with them.
So she was like, oh, if I suck up to Meadow and do things that would upset the parents, they'll invite me to a mafia party?
Yeah, like she was like the cool therapist.
I'm not like most therapists.
Yeah.
I'm a cool therapist.
Go ahead, cut yourself.
Just do it under my roof.
Yeah.
I don't think...
If you're going to take all your pills, I want you to do them at home.
I don't think she was trying to get invited to mafia parties.
No.
That wasn't my theory, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe I'm too close.
Let us know what you think in the comments. Do you think the therapist is trying to get invited to mafia parties?
They're not even real mafia parties. Tony's wearing shorts.
I know.
So, what about the fact, how about Meadow registering for classes on her own? Do you think she got scared, or do you think that's... I'll tell you what I think. I think Meadow's core is better than anybody else in that house, and that ultimately... Meadow will do what she thinks is right. She'll experiment. She'll push the envelope. She'll go as far as one can. Mm-hmm. But she will ultimately do what her perception of right is. I think so. I think that's why eventually she registered for classes without even telling her folks.
And the class she registered for is...
morality.
It is Morality, Self, and Society.
Yes.
09531.
Right, and we see Meadow is now, don't forget, Meadow was pre-med. Meadow was going to be a kid doctor, a pediatrician.
Meadow was pre-Meadow.
She was pre-Meadow. That's what they were calling her on campus. Hey, get a load of pre-Meadow. Now she's kind of shifting more in this sort of
I don't
morality
know
space.
if that was a nod to her being, having a higher sense of morality than the others on the show, or this is planting the seed that in a class or something, she's going to let something fly and discuss a quote unquote hypothetical and get found out that way.
Let's say, so to speak, let's say...
or someone's going to say something about the mafia or an example or a case study is going to get brought up and it hits too close to home and she really defends the mafia or like they're not bad people or some sort of thing that hits close to home. She either inadvertently rats trying to do better in the class or she rats by taking up for some position in the class that she has a soft spot for because of who she is and how she grew up.
And it screws her up.
Yeah.
Screws
the family.
Yeah. Your boy Patsy had a hell of an episode here. Patsy's a little upset. Patsy feels like,
Patsy's a feisty motherfucker.
Look, he let it go that his brother got murdered for no reason, except, but he can't let everything go.
No.
Christopher gets this temporary promotion, right? The promotion, Paulie's in jail.
Yes.
Somebody's got to take over operations.
Chris is in.
Christopher gets it. And Patsy is mad because Patsy's got the experience over Christopher. But again, Tony is showing favoritism towards Christopher because, as we know from last week.
Wait. Why would Patsy get the up when Patsy came in from Junior's crew?
Well,
so Junior and Bobby all came in, and Ralphie came in from Junior's crew, and now they're Tony's crew, and Junior doesn't really have a crew anymore.
My perception was that it was all the same family. But Junior had a crew, like the same way Ralphie has a crew. Like, captains have a crew. Tony is the boss of everyone. But so Junior had a crew.
Yeah, and I thought Patsy was part of Junior's crew.
But Patsy was still part of the family that is still this family that Tony is now the boss of. So when Junior got made boss, his crew did well because the capo that they were under became the boss. But this is all still part of the Soprano crime family.
Right. But it's like,
meaning, so Patsy has been in this family,
right, for
longer.
years and years and years and years. Right.
It's just,
but now he's just magically with Tony.
Wow, what's he?
How would you feel if a new guy came in and just got a promotion immediately?
Well, I'd be pissed, but I think that's how Patsy sees Christopher. I think Patsy sees himself as somebody that's been there for a long time, and Christopher is this new guy, this young guy with a Napoleon complex, who, just because he's close with Tony, is getting big promotions. When I think if you asked Patsy, he would say that his experience in Junior's crew should travel with him into the space that he's in. Now he should not be starting from scratch because it's not like he went to New York.
Well, I mean, Christopher's
it's not like
also,
he went to a new family.
Christopher's also kind of proven himself. And Patsy...
What, is a drug addict?
No. Christopher killed Michael Parisi. Christopher, went to Italy. Sure, he fell short, but he was brought on that trip.
He didn't do shit on that trip.
I know, but it still means that he's up in, the conversation of things.
But realistically, he was a disappointment on that trip. He was garbage.
Right. Well, he went and tried to kill the Russian guy, but that kind of got
fucked that up too.
Yeah.
And put that in the Italy column.
Right. He's doing great with the Crazy Horse.
He is doing great with the Crazy Horse.
Doing good with the Crazy Horse. Patsy doesn't have a Crazy Horse.
Patsy doesn't have a crazy, but that's going to bother him even more because he doesn't have that income stream coming in. So Patsy's pissed. And look, Christopher's a young guy. He doesn't handle the power well.
No.
He doesn't handle being in a position of authority well at all. He rubs it in.
What the fuck is a no-show and what is a no-work? And how does this... What the fuck?
That's my favorite part of the show. And by the way, I thought that this wasn't a real thing. Like, I'd never heard of it until The Sopranos.
Yeah.
And then there's a documentary on Netflix called Crime and Penalties. It's a documentary about the Danbury Trashers. It's a hockey team that was run. And I know AJ Galante now. He's been in this studio. You should watch it because you get such a kick out of the fact that AJ Galante was here. But the guy who owned the team, AJ Galante's dad, had a signed 8x10 from James Gandolfini in his office that said to Jimmy Galante, the real Tony Soprano, from James Gandolfini. This guy ran garbage in Connecticut.
And there's a documentary on this guy?
It's the best documentary you'll ever see.
Really?
It's so good.
It's on Netflix right now.
It's on Netflix. Go watch it. Crime and Penalties. It's so great. He puts his son, who's in high school, in charge of the hockey team, like as the president. It's so great. You'll love AJ Galante, and then you'll be like, and AJ's a paisan now.
Yes. Commendatory.
So, what happens in that documentary is they start talking about no-show jobs.
Right.
Like this is a real thing. So it's a construction job. So, and they have to split up the job so that everybody, a no-show job means you get paid and you don't have to go.
Mm-hmm.
A no-work job means you get paid, but you have to be sitting there in case an inspector walks in. So there's a certain number of workers that have to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do a no-work job, that's like when you see the guys like just sitting around in like the lawn chairs, and that they're pissed. Because even though they're not doing anything,
it still sucks.
It sucks because they wanted the no-show job, not the no-work job.
Right.
It's bullshit that they have to just sit there all day and make a whole bunch of money.
Yeah.
But so that's why when Christopher shows up, they're already pissed, and especially Patsy. I mean, not only is he not in charge, but now he's got to do the no-work job instead of the no-show job.
Right. But thank you for clarifying that. That makes sense. I understand that now.
Yeah.
But why do they have guys that are no-show and they still get paid? Isn't that just a sick day?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a union job.
Uh-huh.
So there's a certain number of workers that have to be there. I'm sure they would love if they would just say, we would like all the jobs to be no-show jobs. But they're like, we can't because if a union guy shows up, he'll count heads.
Right.
So a certain number of you guys have to be there, but we can give you these jobs. That's how they get their cut of the thing. Okay. That's my understanding anyway.
Right. So when they see that cable and Christopher gives that look to Patsy, I love those looks.
Well, that's going back to your thing, like a TV show with no words.
Yes. They are like, So then Patsy does what Christopher says, and they get in trouble.
Yes.
And Christopher doesn't take the responsibility of being like, I'm the one, Tone.
100%.
I told him to do it.
Christopher's immature.
And he throws it on him?
Yes.
Fuck you, dude.
Yep. That's on. Yeah. Christopher did the wrong thing there.
Patsy deserves a happy ending.
I was just thinking that.
You know? And you're going to take that away from him?
Yeah. Because Christopher doesn't see the bigger picture. They see this fiber optic cable that they're just going to sell, and the guy's like, Tony, like, we can cut you into this amazing project that's going to make you like hundreds of millions of dollars or whatever it is. But like, it can't so obviously be a mafia job.
Right.
Like that goes back to what you were saying about how come the cops never know anything that's going on. Yeah. Like, if all of our fiber optic cable is disappearing, they're going to go like, well, what happened to the fiber optic cable? Right. And they're going to be like, well, the mafia works here.
And also, who's buying fiber optic cable from a bunch of guys in a truck?
No, I mean, that's the thing. Like, that is definitely a thing. Like,
How you flipping that?
There are construction sites where, like, if you leave a house left alone that you're building, people will come in and take out all the copper piping. And so the fiber optic cable would work the same way. I don't know who's doing it, but I mean, handyman, right?
Right.
Like there's got to be some network of kind of unlicensed handyman that are just like, yeah, I can fix that for you.
I guess.
That are buying it for pennies on the dollar.
So then why did
stolen?
Tony said no, cut it out. So then why did Syl tell Patsy, hey, you got Tony? Tony's in on it. Go ahead. And then Patsy gets fucked twice. Why?
I think.
Yes.
For the first time in the series, I think, Syl resents Tony's decision. I think that that's how I took it. When Syl, because Syl started acting weird in this episode.
Yeah.
I think it's because Syl is really smart. Like he's been around the block. He sees what Tony is doing with Christopher. And he's like, I've been this guy for your whole life, and Chrissy's going to be your guy, and he doesn't want to say it, but I think that Syl feels some type of a way
that Syl should be made captain.
Well, just that Syl should be the guy who Tony trusts.
Doesn't Tony trusts Sil over everyone because Sil's the guy that he's the consigliere.
He's the consigliere.
Yes.
But Sil sees the relationship that Tony's building with Christopher. And I think Sil sees that Tony is like what Tony said to Malfi, that everything is going to go through Christopher. That you're not going to be able to talk to Tony. But he sees this closeness. And I think Sil realizes that he's going to have Christopher leapfrog all of us.
And Sil wants to be the one that Tony speaks
Sil
for.
wants to be the number 2
Basically,
guy. Sil's happy being
is.
number 2. Yeah, but he doesn't
within the organization.
But he wants to be the guy, and so he doesn't think it's fair. I don't think that Christopher passed up a bunch of guys, Patsy, all those guys.
So then why would he fuck Patsy?
I think that because he knew because he didn't technically fuck Patsy, because when Tony went to Sil and said, "You gave the okay on this," Sil said, "Yep." So that was so. Ultimately, I mean, they got into that scrap at the lumberyard or at the construction site, and that's when you saw Patsy.
Oh, loved it.
You like what Patsy?
Loved it.
I mean, that man was an innocent guy.
Hold on. No.
Okay, so okay. Yeah, well, let's keep on with Sil, because I do want to talk to you about that. Yeah, I think he sees what Tony is doing with Patsy and Christopher is not fair, and I think that he thinks that there's a relationship forming between Tony and Christopher that I think makes him feel like he's being taken for granted. And so I think that's why he's
But I thought a consigliere should never can't be a captain. That's like or you're saying it's not about a captain.
No, I think
you're
it's feelings.
saying it's about wanting to be like
Tony's guy.
The mouthpiece of Tony.
The earpiece. Like, yeah, I mean, yeah, I think Tony should be complaining to Sil about Christopher.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah.
I think Sil's in his feelings.
And
personally.
so Sil basically let him know that without saying it to him, and then smoothed it over by giving the money to Tony and sharing it with him, right?
Right. It's like when your girlfriend's...
why can't these guys just say how they feel?
Well, when your girlfriend's mad at you, and she just acts mad at you.
Right.
But she won't tell you why. Because you should know why.
No, I'm not a fucking mind reader, lady.
Oh!
Hey, Tone, I'm not a fucking mind reader, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is...
Sil, tell me how you feel, dick.
He's in his feelings.
Ugh.
Sil's in his feelings. Everybody's having feelings. Tony has created a very toxic environment. Paulie is in his feelings, and he's turned on Tony. Sil is starting to be in his feelings. Like, Patsy's in his feelings.
That's the thing. This house of cards that Tony has built up is all crumbling because Tony doesn't have communication. He doesn't have trust.
Tony's a bad leader.
Yeah.
And all the evidence you need is the fact that things are falling apart. Like, he just
goes and starts yelling at them, and that's not how you motivate.
He threw a big Billy Bass around not too long ago.
You're beating up this poor bartender for no reason.
Poor guy.
That's his punching bag.
Yeah. And so I think that's why Sil is doing what he's doing. So
Sil kind of taught him a lesson.
Sil taught him a lesson too, and I think Sil had to, for his own peace of mind, prove his power.
Yeah.
I think Sil was testing Tony. When Tony said, I told you not to do that. You're getting very strange in your old age, Sil.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, no, I'm going to go directly against what Tony said.
Yeah.
And Tony realized, like, no, Sil is more important. I can't. And Tony did the right thing. He backpedaled a little bit. Sil gave him the money to be like, oh, here's the, we're all good. And Tony said, okay, we'll let it be done then.
So it seems like Sil is to Tony what Ginny Sack is to Carmine.
Yeah, yes. Yes. Except I think the relationship between, a couple of things. The relationship between Tony and Sil is different. Number one, because Tony and Sil have known each other longer. But number two, Sil is older than Tony. Sil was around before Tony.
Yes.
So it's always a very interesting dynamic when somebody younger than you that you watched come up, that you knew when he was a kid, is now your boss. That's that's a dynamic that some people are not prepared for.
Yeah.
And it's complicated.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're seeing. So what we're talking about on the construction site, though, this was before everything had been settled between Sil and Tony when Christopher shows up.
Well, because Sil made this happen.
Yes.
And then Tony found out, so Tony went to Christopher to fucking handle the situation.
And I think Sil also resented Christopher thinking his shit don't stink and that he's in charge. You know, I think that was part of it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so...
Oh, dude, when Christopher goes, I'm going to get my wings, and Sil's like, I'll see you later. Just bombing in front of Sil.
Yeah. Sil doesn't say much, but he says a lot.
Woo. But also, it's so funny how, like, ignorant Chris is to all that. And he's like, well, big gulps, huh? See you later.
He
just doesn't.
He really is.
Yeah.
He's got the worst social skills of
Dude,
anybody.
it's amazing. Italian autistic. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's incredible.
So, Christopher shows up at the construction site and he knocks Patsy on his ass.
Oh, dude.
In front of everyone.
That was awesome. He comes up, Patsy, oh, look at the cat dragged in. He smacks this thing out of his face. Patsy gets up. They go at it. And then Christopher pulls a fucking gun, which, wow. Don't pull the gun if you ain't going to pull the trigger, pal.
Don't bring your guns to town, boy. Leave your guns at home.
You don't bring a gun to an... You don't bring a knife to a gunfight. You don't bring a gun to a construction site.
Yeah. Yes.
That's the saying.
That's That's the full saying.
That's the saying people say.
Absolutely,
yes.
absolutely.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But what I love, and it is, it kind of shows you everything.
Well, I love the feistiness of Patsy.
He's ready
Chrissy
to
brings
scrap.
out a gun and he picks up a fucking pipe. Good for you. And then I love how they emote with spit. I need to do that more. I need to really let my emotion come out through spit.
I knew a guy who used to spit on the floor when he'd get mad. I'll tell you who it was.
Really?
When we're off the air, I'll tell you who it was.
I cannot wait.
It was such a weird thing to see in person.
Hilarious.
Like, this is a thing that people do.
It's such a cartoon character thing to do.
But also, I think it tells the story that the only thing that breaks up that fight is when a civilian goes, I'm going to call 911.
Yeah.
And everybody turns around and goes,
like,
no,
he's
you're
the asshole. That guy is acting morally correct in the situation. First of all, he tries to intervene and he's like, hey, let's let cooler heads prevail. He flat out goes, guys, blah, blah. And he's like, stay out of it. I love a good stay out of it. I love putting someone in their place with anger and yelling. Ooh, let's see what he has to say. But this guy is literally doing his job of being a good human in the situation. And then the next step of the escalation is he goes, I'm going to call the cops. I can't do anything here.
Yeah.
I can't fix this.
I can do the right thing. This is a normal place of work.
Dude. And Patsy can't win with Chris, so he takes out all his Chris anger on this poor guy that's just trying to do the right thing, trying to de-escalate so he can go to work, get paid, put bread on his family's table. And Patsy just goes up and knocks him the fuck out. And then
he tries to do the right thing. He gets a fractured skull for it.
Yeah, he gets a lead pipe to the head, and he goes, somebody call 911 and don't say nothing. Go to the hospital and keep your mouth shut.
So while all this is going on, of course, you have the little storyline where you see Tony absolutely disgusted. He realizes what's going on between Ralph and Janice, and he's just like, if you thought he was disgusted by Richie, revolted.
Woof.
Almost like, I don't want to touch this right now. I can't even. That's what. This is Tony's version of saying, I can't even.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't even want to process this.
I don't think so, girlfriend.
But I think probably the biggest thing on this episode. How are you feeling about Aid right now?
I'm scared for her. And I'm scared for Christopher, and I'm scared for the future of the family.
And who?
And I really feel for Aid because Aid is lonely. She wants a friend. She finds someone she gets along with.
She told Danielle things she never told anybody.
The guy know.
The guy know.
I know. I know.
But I mean, how perfect is it that the whole operation got screwed up because stupid Christopher was trying to get a threesome going?
He's like, and it's so funny the lead in to like, oh my God, do they know she's an FBI person? He's like, there's something about her. There's something I gotta tell you about her. Oh, does she work for the FBI? No, worse. She's a dyke.
Like, Christopher is garbage.
Yes,
He is just the most garbage
so
person.
dumb. I love it, dude.
He's a total moron.
I love it. It is awesome.
And then he convinces Abe.
I got no spleen, Jane. Christopher, you've suffered a massive loss of amount of blood. Oh.
He puts her, like, he starts feeling her thigh and everything. She's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then Adriana's mad at him, obviously, and he goes, what? She was starting with me.
Yeah.
And poor, good-natured,
Believes
wonderful
him.
soul, she believes Christopher in the worst lie ever because she couldn't imagine it being true. Now she can't hang out with Danielle anymore.
No.
She's walking Cassette, the dog.
Yes.
They go, we're just going to have to pull her in now. We weren't ready to pull her in. We hadn't gotten, we're just going to have to pull her into the office now. Like, we can't, she's not going to hang out with you anymore. So we pull her into the office, and what does she do at that table? Not the most ladylike thing.
You know what she does?
What?
She Ralphs Cifaretto.
That's right. I'd rather have what she had.
And when I see Ralph and Janice, it makes me want to Ralph Cifaretto.
Just pukes all over the table. Poor
Dude,
Abe.
it really gets on that dude, the FBI guy's face. It is dripping off.
But he
poor
he
Abe.
deserves it, by the way.
He does. He's fucking
deserves
turning his
it.
back on Italians. And she deserves it because she's turning her back on Italians. Agent Harris, acts like
Adriana?
No,
Danielle. The fake Danielle.
Fake Danielle.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, with her fucking smug look.
What do you where are you at with Agent Harris right now?
I thought that he was friends with them, and then now he's not because he tries to record them. And you don't do that to friends.
I mean, he's doing his job, too.
No.
He's a police officer.
Yeah.
They're mob
You
members.
do your job and let the mob do theirs, and then we'll all get along.
But their job is to stop the mafia.
No, you got other jobs. There's other parts of town you got to clean up.
I mean, that's their town.
There's gang violence.
The mob is a gang.
No, the mob is friends that like to do things together.
Like crimes.
No, they're like
They just-
fun adventures.
I mean,
They're
10,
life and death scavenger hunts. It's fun.
10 minutes ago, they hit a guy with a lead pipe for wanting to call 911.
Yeah, now that guy's got a good story.
And a fractured skull.
And he's probably going to get money, too.
He probably is going to get money. Hey, bring him a box of Whitman.
Yeah, he's going to get Whitmans and some money. Fucking God forbid we could be so lucky getting hit in the head with a lead pipe.
And maybe one of these hilarious things.
Yes.
So, Aid is now, I mean, the jig is up. Like, there's no...
I'm so scared.
Her and Danielle are not going to be friends.
And it speaks to like the innocence of age. She's like, is your name even really Danielle? Like that's all what she's like carrying
And
out
it's
is this
like-
relationship she had with Danielle.
And she almost like has this look like, no, of course it's not.
And Adrian cannot believe it.
No. No.
Poor Aid.
So where do you, I mean...
I'm so scared. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I really, really want to hope and pray that Aid does not rat on the family or wear a wire or try to save her ass. I would like to see her do some hard time.
Well, yeah, and you wonder, how much time will she really have to do?
Not that much.
Like
How much
she's-
coke was there?
Right, she's not that connected.
And also, she never said that it was hers.
No.
It's like hearsay. It wouldn't hold up in court. This is just like that principal being like, we have your DNA in the piss.
Right. But
It's like they're using scare tactics to get their results.
and hopefully Aid's a little smarter than that. And also, I mean, she's not directly involved with anything that they do, which is, again, why you don't tell your mother when you do a murder, because you don't want to get outsiders involved, even if they're in your family.
Unless it's a murder that will give your mother closure. Then you tell her. You show her the body.
But you don't tell nobody.
You don't tell nobody else.
Just mention the
Just
fluffernutter.
for me and mom. Just secrets for me and mommy.
Yeah, do you think that's so weird?
Mommy, can you keep a secret?
No, don't do that anymore.
Mommy, put that nut in the fluffernutter, mama.
I don't want to do the show.
Mommy, you promise not to tell?
I'm sorry, Billy. I don't know what's going on, Billy.
It starts flopping off the table.
Just get me out of here. I want to go wherever pussy is. Yeah, I mean...
Mommy's house.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
I think it's gonna. Yeah, I worry about 8 at this point too.
Yeah.
Although I also take some solace in the idea that she's not around them that much. She's not involved in the crime. Like, she's not involved the way Pussy was involved.
No, and also like nobody shares anything with her. Not even Christopher. He just dumps things off, gives it to her, leaves, gives her some coke sometimes. She's not like his confidant.
Right.
You know, she truly has nothing to worry about.
Right.
And I hope she realizes that. I wonder if she's going to go to Christopher and go, Danielle turned out to be an FBI, help me. And then that way, I would like that to happen.
There's a possibility that this all leads to what we haven't seen on the show before?
What?
An FBI hit.
Whoa. I would love to see Danielle get killed.
You would?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what you want to see?
Uh-huh.
Why?
I mean, yes, it's sad. She is a new child and she's Will Arnett's wife, but she's betraying the family.
Hey.
You don't go against family.
You made your bed, now sleep in it.
Yeah.
And when I say bed, it ain't a bed of roses.
No. It's a bed of nails.
It's a deathbed.
Yep. It's snakes, snails, and puppy dog tails that you're sleeping with.
Yeah.
And speaking of snakes, and speaking of gross things, Artie Bucco is such a cuck pussy loser. You can even see it in his golf swing. Did you see how that dumb dipshit played golf, hipping and hopping around on the green, and then that petty fucking loser, the guy comes up to Tony, and Tony's like, oh, Artie Bucco, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, oh, yeah, you've been in my restaurant. You didn't like the scratchatelli. You petty... Drop it, you fucking loser.
Artie doesn't have a lot in his life. He does not...
He remembers when people don't like certain dishes he makes. Why don't you remember to impress your fucking wife and get her back, because you'll never find anyone better than...
Charmaine Bucco?
Charmaine.
How could you find anyone better than Charmaine Bucco? I couldn't find anyone better than Charmaine Bucco. You couldn't find anyone better than... There is no one better than Charmaine Bucco.
Charmaine. Woo! She's a stone cold fox, Artie.
She really is. That's what they should call that restaurant. The Stone Cold Fox. Why do you call it the Stone Cold Fox? Charmaine Bucco.
Yes, and it doesn't make you think of vagina like Vesuvio.
Vesuvio is very vaginal.
Research, you fucking dipshit.
Idiot.
Yeah.
He is an idiot.
He is so dumb. He's such a pussy at every turn.
He really is.
But can I say, the characters that I hate on the show, I love so much as actors, because they can portray these people to make me feel that much emotion towards them.
You want me to blow your mind?
What?
You know, the actor who plays Artie.
Mm-hmm.
You know who he auditioned for first?
Who?
Tony.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
That's the same with Syl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Can you imagine Artie as Tony?
A bald mafia boss?
I mean, James Gandolfini's hair wasn't exactly blowing in the wind.
Yeah, but he had cool baldness. Artie's got like...
I mean, Carmine is bald. And he's more powerful than Tony.
No, Carmine's got a comb over.
You can't tell.
Artie is straight up bald.
Yeah, that's true.
Bro.
There's nothing there to comb over for Artie.
Yeah.
Well, that's because he's a beta cuck.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't have a beta cuck as a fucking
That's the
mob
problem.
boss.
That's the problem. He's a bald beta cuck.
I love how good that guy is at portraying that character.
He's incredible.
Of just like the little like that's what I love about the show. These little ticks and facial movements and like the camera's focused on Ralph, but just off in the corner you see Janice like act a certain. It's just such good fucking acting, man.
It's amazing.
Wild.
It's amazing. The writing,
and that goes back to the writing too.
Yeah. It's incredible. Wow. This has been incredible, but that is episode 2, season 4.
Yes.
No Show is what it's called.
Yes.
And we are at the phase of reading your comments last week. Leave more this week if you think after 2 weeks that we're at the space where we should be doing one ep per ep.
Yes.
let us know in the comments,
And
and
if
we'll
we
follow
do that,
your lead.
that'll give everyone a little while to catch up to us as well.
Yes,
to
I
watch
agree.
the show along with us.
I agree.
Because more and more people are hitting me up saying they're enjoying deep diving into the show along with us and seeing things they didn't see before.
Well, that's great. If you haven't started watching along with us, watch along with us. We'll hit you next week with season 4, episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it many times, but for Ian Fidance, it will be his Prima Volta.
Mambo Italiano.
Hit like and subscribe.
Thank you.
Meadow.
Grazie. Billy.